So I think in beginning today, I have to acknowledge that the channel's reached a milestone. We have 2,000 views since Jan this year. And I know, of course, it's not much, it's not massive, but just a huge thank you and a big shout out to every single person who's watched the videos, every single person who's subscribed to the channel, every single person who's liked the videos, and who's also commented as well. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I love to see that you guys are enjoying the episodes, you guys are getting out some value, and to some extent you guys are finding this entertaining as well. So big shout out, thank you for that. And I have a lot more planned for the channel. I have a lot more content lined up, a lot more ideas, and a lot more stuff that I want to do, both on this channel and within the WhatsApp community as well, in order to provide you guys with as much value as possible. So I think in beginning with today's episode, I think procrastination is something that every single person in this world struggles with. And that's something very important to understand, that you're not alone in your struggle to not procrastinate. You're not alone. Even the highest achievers, the people who've done the biggest and best things, they also struggle with procrastination. But the difference is they just know how to deal with it better and how to be more efficient and create sort of mechanisms to monitor their procrastination and to avoid it completely or to remove it from their schedule. So it's very important that we all have procrastination, but the key to procrastination, or to not procrastinating, let me rather say, is reducing the amount or the role that procrastination plays in your life. But how do you actually go about that? How do you reduce how often you procrastinate? How do you do all that stuff? So I think this is based on, of course, my experiences, and this is based on research I've done. But the key with procrastination is sort of building a strong sense of self-accountability. So understanding how you can be accountable to yourself, how you can hold yourself accountable, and how you can put in measures to, in essence, punish yourself when you're not accountable to yourself and reward yourself when you are accountable to yourself. So yes, self-accountability is extremely important when it comes to procrastination, because at the end of the day, you need to remember that whenever you make promises to yourself, let's say you say you're going to wake up early today, or you're going to get so much done today, you're going to study these chapters, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. When you make promises to yourself, it's very important that you keep as many promises as you make to yourself, maintain them, and actually follow through with them. Because, and get this, the more promises you break, the more promises you make and break on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis, the more often you do this, the less reliant you become on yourself, and in future, the less your ability to meet your future promises. So what do I mean by all this? Basically, let's say on an average, let's say a daily basis, you break about 20 promises made to yourself consistently over the month. And it does have a compounding effect. In the future, when you make promises to yourself, then in the back of your mind, you're going to have that little voice that says, this is probably not going to get done, but that's okay, because this is the behavior that I'm used to. Over the past month, I've broken so many promises consistently. So I know that probably this is also not going to be met. That's basically what happens when you break promises. You start to rely less on yourself, and you're more likely to break more promises. And it just becomes a constant cycle. And that's, I think, where procrastination comes. Because the more you say, I'm going to study, I'm going to get this done, I'm going to do all this, and you don't do it, the more likely that you're going to procrastinate in the future. So it's very important to deeply understand the habits that you've already built up to this point. Understand, and I think one of the best steps that you can take regarding sort of understanding yourself and better understanding your habits is just go through a normal day, but write down the things you think and the things you do. So write down, if you say you're gonna wake up at this time and you end up waking up at another time, write that down. If you say you're gonna go shower at this time and you shower at another time, write that down. If perhaps you are consistently late to your lectures or consistently late to your engagements, write that down. Write down every single thing that happens in the day as it happens, and try also keep track of your thoughts. And I think at the end of the day, review it, but when you go through your day as well, don't change anything, keep things consistent and constant. And then at the end of the day, go through basically yourself in a day and understand what you do, what you don't do, and start understanding why. Because this is basically the starting point of overcoming your bad habits, which of course include procrastination. So have that grip and understanding of how you operate, why you operate the way you do, and how many promises on average you keep in a day and how many you break. And I think in line with accountability, one fundamentally important thing that I believe you can also apply that will be insanely helpful is getting an accountability partner. So yes, it's important to rely on yourself, to have that strong sense of self-reliance. But you know what? We as humans, fun fact, we care deeply about what other people think of us because we as humans are social creatures. So we deeply internalize how people perceive us, how people see us, and what people think of us as well. So you having an accountability partner, someone who you can account to for your behavior, for your good and your bad behavior, will sort of drive you to more good behavior than bad behavior. Because of course you want to be seen in a good light by that person who's your accountability partner. So how exactly can you make this accountability partner thing work for you? Well, basically, create a plan for yourself. Let's say you've made a study plan or whatever you've done, the things you need to do in the week. Create that, get that done, and then give it to your accountability partner. And then on a daily basis, when you go through your day and all that, and at the end of the day, report to your accountability partner, of course being honest. It's not going to work if you're not honest, and even self-accountability won't work if you're not honest with yourself. So be honest, tell them what you did, what you didn't do, and perhaps why as well. And I think this will also help you sort of strive to do better, because you don't want to just come every single day and say, I didn't do 80% of the things, or even just you get worse every single day. That's probably not what you want to do, because of course you want to look good in front of that person. So have that system in place with someone you trust and be consistent with that system. And I think another thing to understand with procrastination is you're not going to go from one day procrastinating heavily to the next day not procrastinating at all. And I also want you to know that there will be some good days and there will be some bad days. So in saying that, it's important that you don't put too much pressure on yourself. You really need to be patient, and you just need to show up. You need to keep on trying, but really don't put that pressure on yourself. Just focus on getting better. Don't necessarily focus on ridding yourself of procrastination once and for all. It's done. You'll never procrastinate again. No, that's you're setting yourself up for failure, because those are unreasonable expectations for yourself. You need to know and understand that you are human, and of course you being human means you're not perfect. Therefore your behavior perhaps is not perfect. The things you do might not be perfect, but the key is just get better. Get better on a daily basis, get better on a weekly basis. That should be your focus. Today perhaps you procrastinated for 2-3 hours, but tomorrow you're procrastinating for perhaps 2 hours 50 minutes. The next day it's 2 hours 40 minutes. The next week it's 1 hour 50 minutes. Just focus on that incremental betterness throughout your days, throughout your weeks, throughout your months, and really make sure you track that progress of you getting better and acknowledge it. Please, guys, acknowledge yourself getting better if you are getting better, because this is something else that we tend to not do. We tend to rather punish ourselves or be hard on ourselves because of our bad behaviors, but don't recognize the good behaviors. So recognize your good behaviors, reward yourself, and that will also push you forth in sort of your journey to procrastinate less. And another big tip regarding procrastination, and honestly anything in this world, is be consistent with whatever measures you put in place. If you have that accountability partner, if you want to be tracking your days, if you want to make daily planners, weekly planners, whatever measure you want to put in place, be consistent with that, apply it for an extended period of time, and give it some time to see if it works or not. That's very important, because you can't do something, do it for 2 weeks, then you're done with it. That's not how it's going to work, and you're not going to get anywhere with regards to your procrastination. You need to be consistent. You need to consistently apply whatever you want to do and give it time. And I think another thing really important to know is that what works for me might not work for you. What works for this person might not work for that person. We all have certain things that work for us and other things that don't work for us. Maybe an accountability partner may be super useful for you, but might not be as useful to the next person. So you need to sort of create your own framework for beating procrastination and for being more effective in studying and meeting your obligations. And this involves a lot of trial and error. Trying things. Maybe this works, maybe this doesn't work. If this doesn't work, what can I do? But in me saying this once again, guys, you can't try something for a week and declare whether it works or not. You have to give it time. So try out these different things, these tips and pieces of advice that I'm giving you here on the WhatsApp community as well, and in my previous videos as well. Try out all these different things, see if they work for you, and if they don't, try something else. I think it's important that you build your own systems and build your own frameworks that help you be effective and be the best possible student and person that you could be. So yes, I definitely think this was a very important episode. I think procrastination really gets in the way of a lot of things, including our performance in our academics, but even in our personal lives. And you'll find that the better you utilize your time and the more effective you are, the more time you actually have to, of course, dedicate to your studies, but also and more importantly to yourself, to doing the things you enjoy and to living life as well. So guys, I really hope that this has helped you today, and I really hope you guys apply the things that I shared. I truly believe that they work. Give it some time and you'll see the difference in yourself. But yes guys, until the next episode, let's continue on our journey in creating a better world.